Mimi Mwai Kibaki naapa kwamba nitakuwa mwaminifu.
The bitter contest would plunge the country into one of its darkest political episodes. The 2007 post-election violence.
We do have a deal. Thus, our work on the governance structure for Kenya has successfully been completed today.
On February 28, 2008, a power-sharing deal under the National Accord was struck, with Odinga being appointed as Kenya's second Prime Minister since independence.
Do swear that I will be faithful and bear true.
A post he held for 5 years under the reign of the Grand Coalition government.
Ewe Mwenyezi Mungu, ilete baraka kwetu, haki iwe ngao na mlinzi.
On March 4th, 2013, Agwambo was at it again, contesting the presidency for the third time, this time under the Coalition for Reforms and Democracy, CORD. When the cookie crumbled, Jubilee's Uhuru Kenyatta was declared the winner by IEBC.
Presidential elections held on 4th March 2013 is Uhuru Kenyatta.
Odinga had lost the top prize again, but this time round didn't call for mass action. Instead, sought legal redress at the highest court in the land, the final arbiter, the Supreme Court, which ended up upholding IEBC's decision.
Democracy is on trial.
He was advised by the judiciary to accept and move on, though clearly it was a bitter pill to swallow.
Nothing would have pleased me more if I had lost fairly.
In early 2014, Raila, who had kept everyone guessing about his next political move, took what was termed as a sabbatical from politics, traveling abroad for what his close associates termed as moments of reflection. On 31st May 2014, he made a grand return back home, an event that seemed to have reawakened his political spirits. He was received with a litany of complaints and political cries, dubbed Baba while you are away. For 3 years in his true element, Odinga kept the Jubilee government on toes, putting it on the defensive for nearly the entire period.
Okoa! Okoa!
Also on the firing line was Isaac Hassan-led Electoral Commission, which, despite putting up a spirited fight, succumbed to court's pressure and resigned. Come January 2016, after months of political negotiations, Musalia Mudavadi's ANC joined CORD, paving way for a new coalition in Kenya, the National Super Alliance, NASA, that would later land another partner, Bomet Governor Isaac Ruto's party CCM. Together, a new Pentagon was formed, and on 27th April 2017, NASA's founder Musalia Mudavadi, who was Odinga's running mate in 2007 when they lost presidency following the disputed election, unveiled NASA's power-sharing deal, which saw Odinga named its presidential flag bearer. And once again, Kalonzo Musyoka would be his running mate.
NASA! Raila NASA! This is an agreement with the people of Kenya that never again will there be political gerrymandering. There will not be political deceit. Ikiwa Kalonzo atasema songa mbele Raila, Raila songa mbele.
In his acceptance speech, Odinga firmly took the challenge. His new name, Joshua, after the biblical figure that is recorded to have delivered the Israelites to the promised land. Here he promised to be a one-term president if elected.
Hii serikali ambayo tunaunda, ambayo ni serikali ya mseto, itakuwa ni serikali ya mpito, transitional and transformative government, ambayo itafagia uchafu yote ya Jubilee na kupeleka baharini. Na mimi nimeapa, mimi nitakuwa rais ya kuvuka mto Jordan.
Twice he has been a heartbeat away from clinching the presidency, both in 2007 and 2013. He, however, says this time round he is well prepared for what political pundits have called the grand rematch on August 8, 2017. Sons of the country's founding fathers will once again be locking horns at the ballot, just like they did in 2013. The stakes are high as the two political rivals meet again at the ballot. It is a case of the shoe being on the other side again. In 2002, as Uhuru prepared to inherit President Moi, Odinga led a walkout from Kanu that saw Uhuru suffer a major defeat to Mwai Kibaki. Come 2007, Uhuru would pay back Odinga in his coin when then in his capacity as official opposition leader chose not to vie for presidency and instead to support the re-election bid of President Kibaki. It was the first time in the world for an official opposition leader endorsing an incumbent. To some, Kenyatta was returning a favor. Odinga never clinched the presidency. Having settled that score and with Odinga as Prime Minister and Kenyatta his deputy, the two would square it out in 2013. Uhuru clinched the prize and now Raila is seeking to snatch it from him. Raila Odinga believes he has assembled the best arsenal to take on Uhuru Kenyatta, who has the power and government machinery at his disposal.
Tarehe 8 tutaanza safari ya kuvuka Jordan kuelekea Kanani. Mko tayari?
Apart from his wealth of political experience, Kenya's self-declared Joshua is also banking on his chief campaigner, Musalia Mudavadi, who chairs NASA's National Campaign Committee. He is the man tasked with delivering NASA's victory.
We originated the whole NASA concept. So we also have a personal interest in making sure that NASA succeeds. All right. The second thing is that we have to balance all these challenges. We have to communicate to the people of Western Kenya the need to turn out in large numbers and to vote solidly for the NASA team, because clearly what they perceive to be a role in Jubilee is tokenism, and we need to get them to realize that we need a change.
Just like thousands of his supporters, his family believes this is his moment.
It has never been brighter than it is today.
So this is the time that Raila will be the president of this country?
This is the time. This is the time. But I'm not only looking at him, but I'm looking and thinking about all the Kenyans. It has been a long way. I think when the struggle began, in my part, must have started way back before some of you were born, way back in 1982. And it has been a long journey.
The seasoned politician is a household name, a crowd puller and a mobilizer. His mastery of Swahili riddles and soccer commentary has endeared him to his supporters. Another bait he has capitalized on is his Swahili riddles. Kitendawili, which he uses to hit at his opponents while thrilling his crowds as well.
Tendawili mchana na usiku amekaa pale ananengenea, anakula tu. Nani huyo? Nani huyo? Nani huyo? Umeshindwa. Umeshindwa sio? Si umeshindwa? Unipate mimi mji basi. Kibira. Hiyo ni kupe. Si unajua kupe? Kupe yeye anaingia kwa ng'ombe, akishadunga pale, anakaa tu, ananing'inia. Anakula tu usiku na mchana, sio? Anafyonza damu na anafura. Anafyonza damu na lakini ujinga yake ni kwamba siku ile maya ng'ombe inachinjwa, yeye hana habari. Pale mpaka saa ile ambaye ngozi imetolewa, yeye bado yuko pale, sio? Sisi tumesema sasa ile hali ile iliyopita tumesema imekwisha. Rais Kibaki amesema anataka working nation, sio? Sasa wewe ukikaa kama ile hali ile iliyopita, wewe ni kama kupe. Nimekuja hapa kwa wajomba wangu. Hapa nimekuja kuchukua yai na mkuki, manake naenda kwa vita. Na mimi nauliza wajomba wangu kama watanifuata. Nimeshika chui kwa mkia. Nimeshika chui kwa mkia. Mnakuja. Mnakuja. I just talk naturally, the way that I was taught under the elders who grew up. So whatever I'm saying is, I learned it, that sometimes it is good to hammer point home using some live examples. You see, my opponents are very much irritated by the vitandawilis, which I use. But it's called figurative speech. In other words, you use some kind of a real-life situation to analyze a practical situation with which you are faced at that moment in time. It is not meant to ridicule anybody. It is just meant to get the audience also thinking along with you.
With time, Odinga has managed to attract love and hate in equal measure. There are those who fear him, the Raila phobia.
It is because of propaganda. You know, there's been quite a bit of propaganda spread against Raila Odinga. We call it give a dog a bad name so that you can hang it, okay? Most of that propaganda really has no basis. But for those people who have not had an opportunity to interact with me, that propaganda has rubbed in. And that's why you see they fear Raila. Raila is somebody who is violent, somebody who is revengeful, who will revenge if he takes power, and so on. And but those who know me know that those allegations are very far away from the truth. That I'm a very caring person. That I guess also I'm also kind, generous also, but also that on the other hand, tough. In other words, we don't want broker nonsense. We want perfection. We want performance. That is what we demand from our people. And then know that our people, given opportunity, can perform. And so to be strict and demand perfection or demand performance I don't think it's something that can be taken to be negative.
And those who fanatically love him, the Raila mania.
Baba Ichololo, Baba Ichololo, Baba Aguamo, Kinga.
Lazima kama wanataka kurudi Kibera wakuje waombe msamaha, wapige maragoti na waseme mara ngapi? Mara 3. Raila Baba, Raila Mwana na Roho Mtakatifu.
You know, the people who believe very strongly on what they want to achieve, and they associate the success or the request with me. So these people express their faith and hope that I can be able to deliver. So when I was out of the country for those 3 months, when I was on a sabbatical leave in Boston, there are a number of things were happening in the country, and there was no voice. Nobody was around to point out what was happening in the country. So that some of them felt frustrated that the Jubilee was getting away with a lot of the crimes, the looting of resources in the country, and there was no voice to censor them. So when I came, I think one of the young men who have since become very popular, Japhet Morocco from Meru, the one who came and told me, Baba, while you are away, ABCD happened here. And we expect that now that you're back, you're going to address them. And sure enough, thereafter came the NYS, and after the NYS, we had the Eurobond, we had the Ministry of Health, we had several of those other things. Some of them we nipped in the bud. So I think that the role that we have played in this country has helped to check some of the excesses of the Jubilee government. I think that maybe if you had not done so, you would be talking about something completely different. You would have moved now to the stage of a failed state because of recklessness of the leadership of Jubilee.
In 2017, Raila seems to have trained his guns on the youth. And in order to resonate with them, his campaign rallies are peppered with young people's popular culture.
There is nothing to smile about.
Do you see anything to smile about? Look at that hungry child here. Do you see anything to smile about? Look at the school that you don't know to get an education. Do you see anything to smile about? Look at the conditions of our police station. Do you see anything to smile about? No.
To take it a notch higher, Raila has also mastered street lingo, or sheng, and has recorded online messages targeting the youth.
Nairobi mko. Najua vijana wengi hawana kazi hapa Nairobi. Kutoka Ngwaru mpaka Kayole. Kutoka Kayole mpaka Salem. Life imekuwa hard sana. Na wafeel. Nimetembea Kenya mzima. Shida yenu hapa Nairobi ni kama ya wale wa Kisumu, Kericho na Mombasa. Watu wetu wanalala njaa. Vijana hawana kazi. Siku hizi ni kukaa chini ya miti, kuchana gomba, kupiga story, kwa sababu hakuna kazi.
And in a move akin to the 2002 unbogable signature tune, Raila has themed his latest presidential bid around change, with gospel artist Helena Kene's Mambo ya Badilika tune defining every rally. And lately, this hit song from the Luhya community by Amos Baraza, called Vindu Vichenjanga, which also means things change day and night, referring to the NASA wave which they believe will kick Jubilee out of power.
People believe truly that this country needs change. And they know that Jubilee is part of the problem. This is not part of the solution. They see in a movement that will help them to get rid of Jubilee and bring in a better system as a savior. That's why these elections are very important. They're a defining moment in the history of our country.
Yule ambaye atapeperusha bendera ya NASA, the Right Honorable Raila Odinga.
To crown it all, in his television and online ad dubbed A Time for Change, Raila Odinga, the face of opposition, has listed some of his credentials that have largely and conspicuously shaped Kenyan political landscape that he believes can sway undecided voters to support him during this now or never moment of his political career.
We have been on the brink of collapse before, and we have emerged victorious in each of those moments because we chose Kenya over a set of individuals. Basically telling the youth that all this struggle has been because of the youth of our country. And as you know, that the youth now constitute 70% of our population in the country. So it cannot be ignored at all. And if we go back to our history, the youth have always been the vanguard of the struggle for change in the country. Right from the struggle for independence of our country, throughout the struggle for the second liberation, and even right now. You saw us when we were struggling for removal of the IBC. The youth were at the forefront. Now, the youth in our country are facing very challenging times. With unemployment reaching about 40%, the youth are adversely affected. We have 12 million youths are on the streets, or you can call it the labor market. And this is an unacceptable state of affairs which we want to reverse. And that is why we are saying that we have a more comprehensive agenda for the youth of our country.
The stage is set for the biggest political rumble in Kenyan political jungle. The stakes are high for Raila, so is the political pressure.
ODM, nyinyi tumemkabidhi candidate wenu jukumu kubwa. So, to whom much is given, much will be expected. You have to protect. The rest of the NASA family is looking up to you.
This is a very momentous time in our country's history. We, for the first time, the whole country has come together for change. And we've been able to mobilize a very strong coalition to be able to respond to the needs of our people for change. And I am fortunate to have been given the task of leading this movement. I am grateful to my colleagues for having trust in me to be the one to carry this flag. But as you can see, we are a movement, bigger movement, unlike our opponents, which are basically a two-man band. Ours is a popular movement of the people of our country.
At 72 years, running on a political alliance close to 2002's NAC revolution and on his fourth stab at the presidency, Raila Odinga knows too well what is at stake. It is a do-or-die moment for him. It is now or never. It is his silver bullet, or is it? Duncan Hemba, KTN News.